Listen, stick me in the corner with Bose, Sutton Strack, Jennifer Tilly, Garcelle Bouvet, and I am a happy girl, okay? When I tell you, they are the party as far as I'm concerned. They are those girls. And Kyle, like, I need you to give us a little bit more, okay? As it relates to your issues with Dorit, because at this point, sis, I feel like you're just grasping and trying to extract and pull anything from up out the sky to make a problem, to create a defense for yourself. And it's just not working. Y'all won't have to let me know if I'm wrong about that. But anyways, what's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Taida B here. Welcome to my chat party. I'm so glad that you can join me. I am just happy to be able to share my little thoughts and opinions. It's fun. Not all facts, okay? Because someone did not get that assignment on my dance floor in one of my later videos. I think they left the party, and that's okay because it's going to be like that sometimes. But this is all fun as far as I'm concerned. And I've told y'all in my past videos, don't hold me to it, okay? If I'm wrong, respectfully let me know that I'm wrong, and I will be receptive to it, okay? But for all my people out there, my VIP people on my guest list, I am hugging all of you guys. You know, I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart. For those of you, you know exactly who you are, who get on my dance floor and you twist and flip and do your two-step and everything else, you know, it's definitely all love for sure. I can't express my gratitude enough for you guys. And so I don't want to be wasting any more time, but I will say, for those of you who showed up to the party for a little bit, a lot of it, fashionably early, fashionably late, thank you so much for hitting that like button, for making your comments, for sharing the videos, just for all the things. I truly appreciate you. Did I just say it, y'all? I'm losing it. Again, I'm socially hugging. Yeah, I think I did. My VIP people, I'm socially hugging you all. So thank you guys so much. But let's go ahead and get into this, okay? So this is my recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode number 3. Okay? And so in the little montage of, you know, how they always start off episodes of what everybody's doing, I'm more focused on Erica in this moment because she's always complaining, you guys, or giving the woe is me type vibe for the fact that, you know, her funds are what they are today. And I understand that it was a huge, you know, downgrade for her, but from a pretty practical, regular, everyday person standpoint, I'm just like, where most can agree, girl, you were doing amazingly fine, okay? As your new Porsche, or Portia, as some people call it, pulls up. That don't look too bad to me, especially considering now you're doing this from your own independent pockets. That gives boss even more. So I'm gonna need Erica to be quiet, okay? She's complained about her little smaller square footage. Meanwhile, the house is cute. It's just her. We won't even get into that, right? We'll save all of that for a whole nother day. Kathy pretty much has planned a weekend getaway for the ladies to Oceanside, 2 hours away or more in California. And I thought that her suitcase invitations were really cute, different, you know. And so the first stop for the invitation was to Bose's house. And when I tell y'all, you might agree with me, you may not, but I have a feeling most of you will. Bose looked like everything in that outfit, and just the beauty that she gave, just absolutely breathtakingly stunning. She gave statuesque with her height. She gave model-esque with that beautiful brown, just glowing skin. And like Kathy said, just a vision to behold, okay? I loved it. And I also loved her sidebar to Kathy when Kathy was standing there with the suitcase coming in, like, what are you doing, move it in? And I tell you, she was like, what are we doing with this suitcase? I adore people like Bose who rest in a position, the type of position that she's in, the amazing accomplishments and achievements that she is able to secure for herself, but yet be so freaking down to earth. I'm telling y'all, my kind of vibe. And so when I tell y'all, I want to hang out with Bose any day, all day. But listen, it'll be her treat, right? Because she got way more money than me and way more style. But still, I would love to hang out with Bose. I am just enjoying every single ounce of her, for sure, at this point. So Garcelle's son, apparently, because now Kathy's dropping off her invitation, is into modeling, and he's definitely giving the model vibes that he's supposed to give. And we go to Dorit. She gets her suitcase. So now we have Kathy arriving to Kyle's house, and she's explaining the trip is necessary for Kyle and Dorit, hopefully, to just kind of clean up some things and the tension that they have going on with them, work on their issues, And I agree with Kathy, because she feels like Kyle is being hypersensitive to things that she wouldn't normally let bother her if she was in a better space in life. And, just way too much going on, in her life right now. We get that, right? We totally get that. And like that whole who's your favorite kind of situation that happened on Watch What Happens Live. I think it was at BravoCon with Kyle and Dorit. I really couldn't understand what the big deal was in that, y'all. I don't think that Dorit was being serious. I don't think it was that deep. And I'm just like, Kyle, again, so what was the problem with that? Like, you're saying, oh, well, you said Kathy, girl, she was playing and it was in jest. And I'm just like, what else we got going on? We'll get to that a little later on again, of course. So we fast forward now to Mauricio coming to the house. And I was like, even when he pulled up, I'm like, oh gosh, I feel weird. Okay, like this is awkward for me. Let's see how this goes. I had to breathe for a second, y'all, before I proceeded with the episode. And I feel like initially just seeing their interaction had to take a moment of adjustment because I'm so used to seeing them booed up. Even when they were having their issues at the end of, the last season where it was more apparent that they were separating, it still didn't register to me because, again, even just when I hopped in when I did with Beverly Hills, they still were always like just so in love, and have been doing it for a very long time. But we know times change, things change, people change, whatever the case may be. And so seeing them just as friends, I was like, okay, I guess. And it seemed a little off to me at first, even as they were interacting, because I know she was asking him about the bathroom and what he thought about how she changed the colors and stuff like that. It was a weird pause in there because I think she was like, oh, so you don't like it? And I can't remember, but if y'all remember the part that I'm talking about, go back and kind of look at that because it just seemed a little weird in that moment. They were able to kind of, break the ice a bit eventually and just kind of move on in conversation. But I will say at the same time, and aside from the awkwardness initially or the fact that they're no longer, or at least not together at this point, it's still nice to see them be very mature about things, considering the very rich history that they've had with one another and the time that they put in, and for the fact that it doesn't seem like we're aware of anything so devastatingly drastic that has happened, to cause them not to be able to be at peace with one another or be in a room with one another or show respect to one another. So I kind of like where they're at this point for sure. It's almost like they have no reason to be evil. So why be evil? Why make this thing difficult? Like later on, the ladies were implying through their own situations, and as we know happens in divorce, if we don't need to, that's just too much energy. And so in her confessional, she says she feels like he's just way too happy, right? Like he's living his best life. And I'm like, well, Kyle, he should be happy, right? Because that's how everyone should be, right? You are living your best life, whether it's with someone you love or if it's apart doing your own thing and just loving on yourself, okay? And so at the same time, I will say I get how she's feeling too, right? Because it's like, you don't care. That's what you're giving me. You don't miss me. Is it that easy for you to move on after all this time? Like, why don't you look like upset? Why don't you look like a piece of ish? Like, what is going on here? Like, you're supposed to be somewhere strung out and laid out over me. Like, what are you doing? Right? And so apparently they're giving their relationship a trial run. I know 6 months was what kept coming up. I feel like that's how long Mauricio has his bachelor pad lease term. That's what it is. And I don't know if maybe after that 6 months they'll decide what they want to do. And I'm like, Kyle, no offense. And I don't know if y'all peeped it like I peeped it. But I'm like, it seems like Mauricio was enjoying his time away. And that's not funny. I don't mean to laugh. But he really did. Because did y'all see how she had mentioned, and I can't remember who she said, but I think she said she was changing out clothes in her dressing room or something like that, and Portia came in, or I don't know if she named somebody else, and maybe it's just, one of her assistants that she has in her home, and just to kind of see what she was doing made the other person cry. So she started crying because, again, it's just, the change that's taken place that no one really probably, well, aside from Kyle and Mauricio, no one saw coming, probably really saw coming. And so even as she's sharing that story, he was sitting there like, oh. I was like, Mauricio, can you give a little bit more emotion, like you really care? I was just like, that was weird. Or just even the fact that she said where he's staying now, he was supposed to just use the staged furniture, but now he's purchasing the furniture to make it permanent. And this is supposed to be a whole temporary situation. So how temporary are we if you over here making these final purchases? Now, granted, he could always resell it, if he does get back with Kyle or bring it with him. I don't know. But it's still like, as she was saying, he's finalizing things in terms of just being a single man, or at least being a man without her. And it's really sad, but only time will tell, if they're able to fix and revamp their relationship. With you guys seeing them so long, I know we don't really know these people and what they really had to go through, but based off of what we do know, what's y'all vote? Do y'all think they should get back together? Would you like to see them back together? Do you think they're better apart, or could you care less? Do you not give a rat's what they do either way? Okay, some of y'all are like, look, I got my own issues, I ain't got the time. Okay, understood. And so Dorit and Erica are talking about Dorit's situation with Kyle, and Erica shares the whole watch what happened live BravoCon thing wasn't malicious or intentional on Dorit's part, which again I can agree. And Dorit says Kyle has iced her out multiple times, and I don't think that's far-fetched, y'all, because even in the last season, I feel like it was really heightened with that whole Morgan's incident, and just the relationship that Kyle had with Morgan. Like, she was so smitten with that woman that it seemed like whatever time that she had, if she wasn't spending it probably with her daughters, she was somewhere with Morgan. Right? Whether it was hidden time or time out in our face. And we saw the dynamic shift for Dorit once that was happening. I definitely remember that. Or Dorit just not being pretty much just informed on things that were going on with Kyle that you would think she would, because they were close, at that point in time, or at a point in time. And so I'm just like, for Dorit to be such a good friend of Kyle, you would have thought she would have known more. And Dorit seemed like a stranger at a point in time. That's the main thing that comes up to me. I don't know if you guys remember other situations of Dorit being iced out. That was my top one. And so I feel like Dorit, it just kind of boils down to the fact that you and Kyle had different definitions of what a friendship looks like, at the end of the day, and what a friendship is. And so I can empathize with Dorit feeling that Kyle has a pattern of bad behavior. And, even in your friendships with people, you just get tired of certain things, right? You get tired of certain treatment, or people treating you in your kind of way, particularly when you don't deserve it. And it's so funny because I've been kind of going through that type of transition in my life right now, where I always feel like I have a cleanup season, right? Like, just like when you clean house, most people do spring cleaning. You just get rid of old stuff, or stuff that no longer serves you, stuff you don't need to hang on to. And it's the same thing with friendships. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's not that I intended to be this way, but I'm not going to hold on to anything that doesn't serve me. I know what I bring to the table. That's easy, right? And they do too. But if I'm not getting good seed, good fruit in return, I'm not going to fool with it, And so definitely, just like I said, recently had a couple of cutoffs. And when I tell y'all, the funniest thing ever, and hopefully this will encourage some of you guys, or some of you can relate and agree with me, that I feel like once you get that mess removed out of your life, you elevate. Like, now your shoulders are lighter for you to excel and for you to go up higher. And when I tell you, nothing but good things have been happening for me since, I kid you not, it's almost insane. It is almost insane. As you guys know, I definitely believe in God, so he plays a whole lot in that, and me just being obedient to him, letting me know, listen, as the saying goes, these people can't come with you in the next season of your life. So let them go. Don't have them hinder you from getting your blessings. And when I tell you, I was like, we ain't doing that. You ain't hindering me. And the blessings have been coming. The blessings have been coming. So y'all, do not let people treat you any kind of way. Not like trash or stuff under the bottom of your feet. Nope. Get rid of them, because I certainly have. Moving forward, I know y'all was like, we ain't even asked for all that. But moving forward, the ladies start to arrive at Kathy's for the trip, and I'm with Bose yet again, loving the VIP treatment that Kathy has set up. You know, she got her butler. Kathy don't play. Kathy's that real deal Holyfield kind of money, which we've been known, right? And like Bose said, it sets the tone for a trip that's supposed to, or for how the trip is supposed to be. And I said, well, you know, Bose, I don't even know if I'll say for how the trip is supposed to be, because listen, the trip can go straight to hell, right? And we don't want that to be indicative of what the host presented or make the connection to that, because that has nothing to do with that. But I will say it definitely sets a classy tone, and it definitely gets the party started in the right way, and it definitely sets the energy for how folks should be, and you know, let them know, listen, this is supposed to be a good time and we about to get it in. And now we get into the thing that we love to see, the money of it all, how these folks just be spending and acting a fool because they can. All right, because they can. And so yes to Kyle, right? With her combination of over $76,000 worth of bags on her arm, because of course she starts off with the Birkin, and we know Kyle is totally a Birkin lady through and through. But inside the Birkin bag, she's housing another bag, and I don't remember exactly the cost amount, and then another bag, but it was some bread, right? To the point where, again, the $76,000, listen, that's some of our annual salaries just sitting in a bag. Okay, I was like, I cannot. I love it. Or Jennifer Tilly's $33,000 Louis Vuitton boat, as she called it. But Erica was just like, oh, you know, it's art. And that's what I loved about Jennifer, because again, when money just flows to you like that, where ain't no thing, I'm just like, you would call that a boat. Meanwhile, that is something that most people will never be able to experience in their lifetime. And that's just a purse. That is just a purse. Imagine just all the other expenses that they have, or purchases that they've made, how much they've cost, if you're willing to spend $33,000 on a boat bag. Okay. And so sidebar, do y'all notice how Erica's always clocking the girls' expenses when it comes to fashion? I've seen her do that in times past. I know it was something with a Cartier piece of jewelry or another. I don't know if it was Sutton's, and Erica was kind of dissecting that low key, and she's done it, you know, more than once before, and even admits to it. So I wasn't mad at her, because she definitely says in her confessional, listen, I'm about to covet thy neighbor's stuff, because listen, that's where I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be on that type of time and money, right? So I thought that was really cute and funny. And so the ladies arrive in Oceanside, and so they have a Tom Cruise lookalike greet them, right? And they weren't really with it, you know, which I thought he looked great. He looked just like Tom Cruise. I always thought that Tom Cruise was a handsome man, but I'm with Bose yet again. And listen, I'm giving Bose fan all day, y'all. I mean, maybe I should settle down and, you know, not look so lame, but I can't help it. I like the lady, and just, she's giving what I would give if I was in her position, so I can relate. From a very far away standpoint, financially and everything else. But she said, listen, girl, give me Idris Elba any day. Okay? And I'm just like, girl, I will take Idris as well. Or I'll take Kofi. I think it's Cerebo. For those of you who do not know who Kofi is, if you have ever seen the movie Girls Trip with Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, who else was it? Tiffany Haddish, I think Regina Hall, they were the main characters. And Kofi was Jada Pinkett's like main thing, kind of side thing that turned into everything in that movie, because that was a fine thing. When I tell you, that movie came out years ago, but I've been hooked to that man ever since. Even my husband knows that's my husband, okay? But anyway, so definitely was feeling that. Or even another great eye candy that's most recent. I don't know his name, and I should have looked it up before I hit record, but the Twister movie that came out this year, like a few months back. I don't know if you guys saw that either, or you can maybe look up, Google the cast. And he was the main kind of storm chaser, and he became like a flirtatious kind of love interest of the other main girl in the movie. That thing was fine too. Oh my gosh, he was so fine. He drove around in the pickup truck. Oh God. Oh God. Anyways, moving on. This ain't what this is about, y'all. See, I'm spending way too much time on the things I really shouldn't. So I want to know too, y'all, is Cali the place to be? Because it's just giving such beautiful vibes. And we're trying to figure out our family trip for next year. And we actually were talking about going to Malibu. But my only thing is I really don't like flying. I don't let it stop me from going places. But I'm just thinking that cross-country travel with that turbulence probably. Because, oh, God. And I haven't been to Cali since I was a kid. But anyways, y'all let me know. Moving forward. Again, loving Jennifer Tilly's energy. She's there kind of getting dressed, feeling her own self in the mirror. I said, you better come on, girl, and do it. Talk to yourself and let yourself know what it is. And they start getting eventually into conversation about PK not watching the kids. And I'm just like, why couldn't PK have watched the kids at the house? I understand he has a whole pad that Dorit knew nothing about, which I think that's shady boots within itself. But it's the fact for me, again, he's still a parent, right? And he still has responsibilities. And it's not to say that he's not, handling his responsibility in other ways. But for whoever's watching the kids, they didn't need to. PK should have come to that house while Dorit's not there, should have made it even simpler. And then once she returned, you just leave, So I thought that was just different. But I'm like, okay. And the ladies are sharing based on Dorit's situation. That divorce is pretty much no joke, right? Have any of you guys ever been through a divorce? You'll have to let me know. I can only imagine. Definitely heard of them in times past. No fun situation, right? At all. And so we even have Jennifer sharing in her confessional that she apparently was married and then divorced to the Simpsons creator. I don't remember his last name, but I know she said his first name was Sam. And I'm like, oh wow, that's super dope. Definitely a childhood classic and favorite growing up. I'm sure. I think they still air it. I know I've seen it here and there, at least passing through channels. And she was like, those residuals though that come in from them checks, who knew it would be so big? She was like, I'm even thanking Sam now for, just his income. I'm grateful. And so again, just loving her. And the ladies end up playing a game on the beach. They have fun. Garcelle and Bose win. Yay. And I just tell y'all, I love activities that allow your inner child to kind of creep out. So the whole duck, duck, goose was an absolute yes for me, even though most of them or some of the ladies were speaking on how they, found it to be a bit childish or whatever the case. So I'm just going to put this out there. This might be weird to some of you, but maybe some of you will receive it like the kid that I am too. If we ever expand, right, to a situation where I'm able to meet you guys, let's play Duck Duck Goose. Okay, we've got to do it in honor of this episode, in this moment, to speak it, to be able to happen in the near future so I can have a reason to meet y'all. But anyway, so the ladies are now at dinner. Sidebar, thank God, not that big of a deal, but for Dorit picking those second pair of earrings, so they went way better with her outfit than the first. I'm like, that was an easy no-brainer. And I'm glad that Kathy and Kyle have been in a much better space together, as she toasts to Kathy for hosting the trip. And immediately Kyle gets into breaking the ice with Dorit, who wants to address the elephant in the room. And I'm like, even as Dorit is talking, why do folks always want to bring other folks into their situations and throw them under the bus? As she's like, well, Erica said that she didn't think such and such and such. And I'm like, Erica's just sitting there trying to mind her business. Okay. And it's like, even later on, Dorit brings her up again with the manipulative text. Well, Erica said, I'm just like, if you don't stop dragging Erica into this and handle this situation on your own as an adult lady, like that annoyed me that she did that. But so Kyle says there were many pieces to the puzzle than just that one incident. And I'm like, again, Kyle, I'm still waiting through the things you explained for the pieces to come together to form something, because it's giving nothing. Okay? You ain't really building and creating any type of substance, And so she then was offended, she said, by the man who made the comment. And I had to break him up again at BravoCon about Teddy, which was true, might I add. And they show the flashback again of Alexander Rogers, a YouTube great. I have mentioned him before, you guys, in one of my videos. I'm telling you, if you want a good laugh, go check him out. Please go check him out. I haven't seen him in a little minute. I have to go back and watch. I haven't seen a lot of my favorites in a minute. Well, with the exception of the Brooke Ashley, I did get to watch one of her Orange County reunion recast. But I said I got to get more into it. I just feel like my time is just so limited these days. But so I said, Alex, you better come on in these streets and get famous and get known and all the things like you ought to and like you deserve to do, because it's like he lived off of just when they showed him alone in that particular season at the reunion, and for now them to reintroduce him again, I loved it and I was here for it. So shout out to Alexander Rogers on that. And so with that example, Button, however, Kyle feels like Dorit should have spoken up, you know, I guess when Alexander made that comment, because she's like, you know, you're friends with Teddy too. And I'm like, why? She should have spoken up, because why? What reason would she had to have spoken up? There was nothing said that was disrespectful. You weren't thrusting her upon the ladies. It's true. You know, and the ladies didn't want to be bothered with Teddy. Okay, I forgot what they call her, like a gnat or something. They didn't want to be bothered. Teddy was not that girl and still isn't. So, you know, I mean, what did you want Dorit to say in that moment? There was nothing bad said, nothing disrespectful said, nothing that even required a defense on Teddy's behalf. So I'm like, Kyle, see, again, you ain't making no sense. And Kyle says that Dorit didn't speak up because she more or less cares about the optics of things. And Dorit's like, no, that's you, Kyle. That's you. Comes in and comes through with a perfect shining example of that manipulative text. Because she's like, I hadn't spoken to Kyle in months, but then all of a sudden, before the reunion, she wants to say, you know, pretty much start doing some damage control and, you know, I don't want TV to break up our friendship, and for whatever she said. I don't remember, y'all. I agree, though, that it was a manipulative, you know, text, and Kyle was just trying to make herself, or she didn't want herself to be presented in a light at the reunion by Dorit that would not be becoming or appealing. So I'm like, girl, like, you're contradicting yourself hard. And at this moment in time, guys, as we're to this point, not that I care a whole lot in the world about this situation that's transpiring between Dorit and Kyle, but for what we're giving, I'm definitely going to have to give, you know, the Dorit the 1 up, the 2s up, the 3s up on this, because she's the one making the most sense out of this, and letting Kyle know that she's not making sense. And, you know, like I said, she's just to a point where she's just tired of the mistreatment. And there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. And it always blows my mind how people will always just continue to walk all over you, do what they want to do, step on your toes. But the moment you get buck for yourself against them, oh, it's like, oh, you the crazy one. Like Kyle said, oh, well, you know, I mean, like, why are you acting like this? You know, or her tone, or Dorit getting stern and serious about herself. Well, if I don't defend me, who else is going to defend me? And you just going to keep acting a fool, and we ain't doing that. You know, now you want to pay attention to how I'm acting. But again, let's start from the beginning. People always want to start from the middle, but let's start from the beginning. So I will give Dorit, for I guess what I could give Dorit, I will give her, you know, a shout on this one, that she's definitely making sense. I don't know where this is going to go, but Kyle, you are just, your argument is just weak. It's weak at this point. You got to give us a little bit more. You got to come with something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, let me know what you think, because at this point, the music is loud. The dance floor is open. Don't be no prude and stand against the wall and hold up the wall when you know you moving and you feel it. Get on the comments, y'all, and let me know your thoughts. Like, is any of this making sense to y'all? Is this worth even being a storyline in this season? Like, tell me, y'all, of everything that I've shared. Let me know what you think. What I haven't shared, let me know what you're thinking for sure, you guys. And, you know, I will definitely be back. I will be back next week to do it all over again. I appreciate y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. I truly, 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 and honestly do. I get excited when I see you guys on the dance floor. So holla at me. Let me know what's good, okay? But until next week, y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. And I'm out. Peace.